It starts with a message you weren't supposed to receive. A quiet knock on your encrypted phone. A line in a classified cable that looks routine, but isn't. You read it again. Potential contact inside Russian government. Interested in cooperation. That's intelligence speak for something much simpler. Someone inside Russia might be willing to spy for you. And if you decide to pursue it, you've just entered the world of espionage. But spying on Russia isn't like the movies. There are no dramatic chases, no tuxedos, no one saying their name like a catchphrase. Instead, it's patience, paranoia, and the constant feeling that someone is watching you. Because in Moscow, someone usually is. The FSB, Federal Security Service, and GRU, Russian Military Intelligence, treat foreign spies the way immune systems treat viruses. They hunt them relentlessly. So, if you're a CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, officer posted to Moscow, your job is simple on paper and nearly impossible in reality. Recruit sources, steal secrets, don't get caught. Easy. Until you realize Moscow might be the hardest intelligence environment on Earth. First step, recruitment. Before you can spy on Russia, you need someone inside Russia to spy for you. These people are called intelligence assets. They might be diplomats, military officers, scientists, government analysts. Sometimes they're motivated by ideology. Sometimes revenge. Most of the time, it's money. Your job is to identify someone vulnerable, maybe a bureaucrat drowning in gambling debt, maybe a military officer angry at corruption, maybe someone overlooked for promotion. You study their habits, their relationships, their frustrations. Then one day, you make the approach. A quiet conversation at a conference, a casual meeting at a cafe, a vague suggestion that certain people in the West might be interested in cooperation. If they agree, you've just recruited an asset, and you become their handler. Your job is now handling them, guiding what information they collect, how they pass it, and how they stay alive. Because if they're caught, Russia calls them something very specific, a mole, or more simply, a traitor, and traitors don't get second chances. Now, the real work begins. This is where tradecraft comes in. Tradecraft is the toolkit of espionage, all the small techniques spies use to communicate without being caught. You don't meet your asset regularly. That would be suicide. Instead, you rely on things like dead drops. A dead drop is a secret hiding place for information. Maybe it's a magnetic container under a park bench. Maybe it's taped inside a public restroom tank. Maybe it's buried beneath a loose brick. Your asset leaves documents there. You retrieve them hours later. No meeting required. But even that is dangerous. So before you approach a dead drop, you run counter-surveillance. That means checking whether anyone is following you. You walk strange routes through the city, enter buildings with multiple exits, double back on streets, pause at store windows to watch reflections. If anyone follows the same pattern, you abort. If the route is clear, you're what spies call black. No surveillance. Safe to proceed. But dead drops aren't the only signals. Spies also use signal sites. These are small visual markers used to communicate silently. A chalk mark on a lamppost. A soda can placed beside a trash bin. A flower pot moved to the left side of a window. Each one carries meaning. Meeting approved. Abort mission. Emergency. To anyone else walking down the street, it looks like nothing. But to the two people running the operation, it's everything. Of course, Russia isn't blind. The FSB and GRU spend enormous resources tracking foreign intelligence officers. They monitor embassies. They photograph diplomats. They log every meeting. They run their own counter-surveillance teams across Moscow. 3 cars behind you. A pedestrian pretending to read a newspaper. Someone who appears in the subway twice in one day. If they confirm you're running an intelligence operation, your identity becomes burned. Burned means your cover is compromised. Every contact you've ever had becomes dangerous. Every intelligence asset you recruited might suddenly be at risk, because the moment your operation is compromised, the clock starts ticking. If an asset gets caught, things get much darker. Russian prisons aren't built for comfort. Your source will face interrogation, hours of questioning, sleep deprivation, stacks of photographs showing every foreign diplomat they've ever encountered. Eventually, investigators ask one simple question: who is your handler? Some people resist for days, some for weeks, but eventually, almost everyone talks, and when they do, the consequences spread fast. Other sources are arrested, operations collapse, entire networks disappear overnight. You might think spies have a safety net. Sometimes they do. It's called diplomatic immunity. If you're a CIA officer working under diplomatic cover, the worst Russia can usually do is expel you. They put you on a plane and send you home, but your sources don't have that protection. If they're caught spying for a foreign power, the charges are treason, which means prison, or worse. Then there's the nightmare scenario, the one every intelligence officer fears: the double agent. This happens when your asset secretly reports to Russian intelligence while pretending to work for you. They feed you false information, they expose your techniques, they reveal your other sources. Suddenly, every dead drop, every signal site, every piece of tradecraft you've ever used is known to Moscow. Sometimes the betrayal comes from somewhere even worse, inside your own organization, a mole inside the CIA. Someone reading classified cables, copying names of sources and sending them directly to Moscow Center, the command headquarters of Russian intelligence. This has happened before, more than once. Entire spy networks have been destroyed because one person inside the system decided to sell secrets. Eventually, one of two things happens. Either your operation continues quietly for years, or it collapses overnight. If things go wrong, the agency may order exfiltration, also called extraction. This means getting your source out of Russia before they're arrested. It's complicated. Fake passports, smuggling routes, border crossings. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes, the intelligence value of the asset is considered too high to risk extraction. So they stay in place, and everyone hopes they aren't discovered. Every once in a generation, an intelligence officer recruits someone truly extraordinary. A source inside the highest levels of government. A general, a senior strategist, someone with access to everything. They get a code name, something simple, something like Cardinal. For a while, the information flows non-stop. Military plans, agent identities, strategic secrets. Reports go straight from Moscow to CIA headquarters. The station chief reads them first, then Washington, then maybe even the president. For intelligence agencies, an asset like that can change history, but sources that valuable rarely survive forever. Eventually, someone notices a pattern, someone leaks a name, someone makes a mistake, and when that happens, the asset disappears. Officially, it might be called a car accident, or a sudden illness. But everyone in the intelligence world knows what really happened. In the end, spying on Russia isn't about action. It's about patience, silent signals, hidden messages, and a constant game of cat and mouse between agencies that have been battling each other for decades. The CIA recruits sources. The FSB hunts them. The GRU searches for weaknesses. And somewhere, someone is always trying to become the next mole. Because espionage never really ends. The players change, the names change. But the game keeps going. Always in the shadows, and that's the strange reality of espionage. From the outside, spying on Russia sounds like a high-stakes thriller, but in reality, it's a quiet war fought with patience, deception, and nerves of steel. A world where a chalk mark on a wall can signal a secret meeting, where a small container behind a dumpster can carry intelligence worth millions, where a single mistake can get someone arrested, interrogated, or worse. The CIA, the FSB, and the GRU have been playing this shadow game for decades. Handlers recruit sources. Sources pass secrets. Counterintelligence hunts them down. Sometimes operations succeed for years. Sometimes they collapse overnight because of a mole, a double agent, or a single classified cable sent to the wrong place. And when an operation is finally burned, the people involved don't get dramatic endings. Most just disappear quietly into history. Because in the world of intelligence, the greatest success is the operation nobody ever hears about. If you enjoyed this video and want more deep dives into the hidden worlds of history, espionage, and geopolitics, do us a quick favor. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next upload. It really helps the channel grow and allows us to keep making more content like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.